and welcome back to Don't Take the Box. Today I have for you the Inktober box. Woo! Because obviously, as you know, tomorrow October/Inktober starts, and there are two things that I would like to address before I open this box. One, I know that there's a big controversy around Jake Parker, who started the Inktober movement. And I did doubt whether or not I was going to let it affect me, either in opening this box, showing this box, filming this box, partaking in Inktober. And finally I decided that for me Inktober is a lot more about pushing myself to draw every day than it is about the person who started the challenge. That being said, onward to happier things. Let's open the box. As always, I'd like you to have the first view. So here goes. A full box, as usual. Where to start? Maybe do this zip thing lastly, or just put it aside for now. And then we have, first of all, a sketch pad. Ooh. It has like a rubbery feel, the cover. This is probably not going to be at all interesting sketching wise, but it has an interesting feel. This is a Legion Lennox Cotton 15 sheet 250 GSM, which is quite good. And although I can see some texture, which I don't know if you can see it, but I can see some texture, but it is quite smooth. So this is probably going to be perfect for ink. At least I hope so, because that's the whole point of this box. And then two things that scream Inktober. One, quite literally, because it says Inktober. It is a pencil case or a pen case with, it is quite sturdy, I must say. I was expecting just like some nylon. It is probably nylon, but it's also I don't know the word in English, padded maybe, like it's not just one coat of fabric, it's actually quite thick, which is probably best if you have some more brittle items that you want to carry in your pen case. I must say I do love the red insides, because black is obviously, I'm not going to say boring per se, but a little bland. So this pop of red is actually quite cool. And it has two, as I said, two sections with two zippers, so you can easily separate things that you don't want touching, like for example maybe some pencils on one side, because they do tend to give off some graphite dust sometimes, so you can put your pencils separately, or you could put your knickknacks, your erasers and your sharpeners and your whatever aside. Anyway, pretty cool. I like it anyway. And then last of the big items, and the one I look forward to most, a Plumchester limited edition square sketchbook, which I think is the same size as the one we got last year, but instead of the logo of Inktober we get a drawing, which I'm going to show you in full. Pretty neat. It shows a space fish, I think, which I really like. I think except for the cover it's quite identical to the one that we got last year. I still have that one, and as that one it also has a yellow, do we say binder or elastic, and it also has a yellow ribbon so you can easily mark the page that you're using or where you're at. I do remember from last year that I also quite liked the paper, so I will probably be using this sketchbook for my actual Inktober challenge drawing. Time to put this box aside. And get to the Ziploc bag of things. I just love that sound. First of all, I'm pulling out the supplies list. Oh, not just the supplies list, it lists the supplies on one side and it lists the prompts on the other side. I think, no, it's not on this one. I'm turning this around because the other side shows a code in which you can use to partake in a inking class, but I don't know if the codes are limited or not, so I'll just have that magicked out by my chief editing engineer, aka husband, because I don't want to get into any trouble. Anyway, as I was saying, the prompts for this year's Inktober, I'm leaving these on screen for like 3 seconds, but you can very easily find them online, so you just really don't need to pause the video for that. Onward. We also get the Inktober sticker, obviously. The thing Artsnacks is most known for, namely a little snack. And then the real deal of things. First of all, we get a Copic Gassenfouré nylon brush pen, which has like little gold flecks and spicks in it, which is really cool. We get the main issue here. Oops, I was opening it upside down. A bottle of Liquitex carbon black acrylic ink, with, as you can see from the cap, a dropper, which is really handy. We get something else that also always comes in handy. A Uni Posca pen in white for highlights and correcting mistakes. almost lastly, we get a very, very, very fine King Art Premium Original Gold liner, zero liner. So it's really fine. That's going to be an actual challenge for me. And then lastly, we get Graphics Aqua Ink in 3 colors, which it doesn't say on the packaging, but in the colors orange, which, as you should know by now, I don't like. Sonnengelb, or sunshine yellow. Don't know why it says it in German first. And lastly, carmine red. These are actually quite bright. So, are you ready for swatches? Because I am. Some quick first impressions. The brush pen, it works and it's black, but to be very, very honest, I actually have one of a different brand that is as good or maybe even better, because I find this one to be a little on the drier side. Like I almost have to push the brush to get the ink flowing really, really well, especially in the parts where I move it quite quickly. But then, I don't know, I mean, obviously it does work, and obviously you get very, very, very good control. I got broad strokes and very thin strokes in quick succession, which is actually all what you really, really like or need or want from a brush inking pen. So, good. Secondly, the Posca pen. It's one with a plastic nib, which I didn't know, and I was going to say didn't appreciate. It's not that it's not a good nib, but I've been using Posca pens for a while now, and they all have felt nibs, which I'm a lot more used to. This feels quite scratchy on paper. However, it does create a very, very, very thin line, which is something that I think I'm going to quite enjoy for like finer details, or maybe even line work if I have a very dark or black background. So I look forward to getting to know that pen, this type of paint marker a little better. onto the colors. These are graphic aqua ink, which I suppose means it's an ink on water base or dye based, as opposed to a pigment based acrylic or shellac ink. I have not tested whether they are re-wettable or even water soluble, but so far I'm really impressed with the brightness of the colors. And I also think that they dry quite beautifully. They dry in a matte finish and not in a shiny finish, which was a bit of a surprise, but I quite like it actually. And then lastly, the star of the show, the carbon black acrylic ink. It's from a brand, Liquidex, that I actually know quite well because I have some bottles of this particular ink in my private stash, and that's amazing. It's super black, it dries very quickly. We get a big bottle, which obviously I like very much, and so yeah, could almost not be happier. I've never replaced the carbon black that I used to have because I have so many other black inks, but I'm quite happy to get a new bottle of it. And lastly, I would like to say something about the brush that we got. It's very thin. The control you get is superb, but I will already mention that I will probably have some more inking tools out of my private stash added to this little collection, because I don't see myself completing the entire challenge with just like one very, very tiny brush. So look for that in the coming videos. But for now, it's goodbye. Bye.